Welcome to another edition of Sports Therapy with FH Jr. All right, today's show is hopefully going to be as exciting as the last show. I am going to start the show off with how do I say this? Now, this is not going to be a eulogy. It's really going to be I'm paying homage to a running back for the Dallas Cowboys. Although, as you look at my attire, I am fully dressed in Redskin slash slash football team gear. But I am a fan of what I call fair play, and just I'm just a fan of just a good player. In that, I want to say Marion Barry Barber. I'm sorry, Marion Barber passed away this week, and he was a Cowboy running back. And I will say this: I did not reach out to the family um, before I decided to talk about him today. Now, this is not going to be like as I was saying. It won't be like a eulogy or anything like that. I just want to just give my condolence to the family and say that hey, I can only talk about him in terms of being an NFL player. I did not know him on a personal basis, just only through football, and I know that's a small portion of his life in comparing to some of the other things. But I will say that he was a great player. I enjoyed watching him, although I probably rooted for them to lose. But I'm always a fan of a good athletic competition. In that, I went back and I looked at what, and I actually saw this live when it happened. The Cowboys were playing the Patriots, and they had the ball on their own 2 yard line, and Romo handed the ball off to Barber, and for all purposes, it looked like he was going to be thrown for a not only a loss but a safety. But for some strange reason, he ran 30 of the toughest yards. In fact, 30 of those yards were ran in his own end zone, and he managed to only pick up 2 yards. But that was the best 2 yards that I've ever seen in my life. And so, with that, that's why I wanted to acknowledge the passing of Marion Barber III and say, hey, to the family, my condolences. And, you know, may he rest in peace. And like I said, he was just a great player. So, in that, I want to talk a little bit about the show. Once again, we always talk about sports therapy is sports entertainment only. We don't talk politics. We don't talk sexual orientation. We don't talk about anything other than NFL football. And of course, part of our format is callers get to call in. You'll have 2 minutes. You can either rant, rip, or kick some knowledge about your team, another team, whatever sent you over the edge. So with that, let me see. Do we have a call on the line? I'm gonna go to. Give me 1 second. All right. So, in talking about Marion Barber III, I want to segue into a conversation about NFL running backs. And the topic of today's show is, do NFL running backs, should they be paid on a different pay scale than other athletes, other professional athletes? I know some people are going to say, wait a minute, no, why should we pay those guys different? Well, because the shelf life of the NFL running back is very short. I think the average career is something like 5 years. And I'm thinking that, when you're a quarterback, which is usually the face of the league, often quarterbacks, they make a lot of money. Linemen make a lot of money. But what I've seen, and as I say often, this is everybody's entitled to their own opinion. This is just my opinion. Because what I see is that we draft guys into the NFL at the running back position. they come in and for I believe 2 3 years you're on your rookie salary. So with that, I see where we get all the skills out of these guys. We run them to death, um, wear and tear, and then after the end of the rookie contract, we let them walk. So and they're in no position to negotiate a a big salary, as they say. They're in no position to, because what is the saying? Oh, we can find a good running back in the later rounds. So why should we pay this guy? Why should we pay him? And the reason I'm concerned about that, because when I look at some of the youngsters that's playing the position now in high school, what will happen if all of a sudden guys decide, you know what, I'm not going to play that position because there's no money into it. There's a lot of wear and tear. I'm not going to get into the CTE aspect of it. My expertise is just not in that realm. I'm no expert in terms of CTE, but I do know the wear and tear, and I say that based on what I've seen with running backs in the past. I mean, I've been watching the NFL for years. When I think of running backs, first one that comes to my mind was Earl Campbell. I mean, Earl Campbell came in for those old school football players. Earl Campbell came into the league, and it was like, wow, you know. And a lot of times he would average something like 35, 40 carries a game. And it was very exciting until all of a sudden he was completely done in a couple of years. And nobody at the time, I don't think it entered the coaches' minds or owners or anybody in the NFL that the shelf life of a running back is small, in terms of the wear and tear, the constant wear and tear. So we just never really gave it any thought per se. And then all of a sudden you look at it in terms of, yeah, there's been some anomalies like Emmitt Smith, you know. He had a very long career running behind that big line of the Cowboys. But at the end of the day, Emmett may be that outlier, as they say, that one particular running back that, you know, a lot of things that came together in terms of offensive line, play calling, things of that nature. But when I look in terms of others who play the position, the longevity just isn't there. So I say, should the NFL running back, should they be paid on a different pay scale than anyone else? In other words, should they get their money up front? Pay me my money up front. Negotiate their salary up front. How I don't know if anyone can remember. We used to sign quarterbacks right out of college. They're coming in making a lot of money. They get their money up front, and a lot of them turn out to be the old bust. And I think that's where we went back and said, "Hey, look, we might need to reconsider, um, you know, that going forward, because paying these guys a lot of money up front. They're turning out not to be that good, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Yeah, what are we doing here?" And so, um, and I just think with the running back position, it's totally different. We have to look at the longevity of these guys, because we got kids in high school now are averaging well over 1,000 yards in their high school career. But when you look at it, that is a lot of wear and tear on the athlete. A lot of wear and tear. It's a lot of wear and tear. And then you go to college, you got, let's just say, if the athlete doesn't leave early, 4 years, look at that, 4 years of wear and tear. And then when you come into the pro, and if you are a high draft pick, you come into the pros, and it's like, okay, well, what are we doing? So there's a lot of wear and tear there. So that's why I'm thinking, and I may be the only person, that's that's out here, and I may be on this limb by myself in terms of you know, should these guys receive any kind of pay. So, but I'm just saying, to me, looking at the wear and tear, because if I am a an athlete and I'm in high school, and if I know I'm not gonna get a lot of money, why would I pay that? Why would I play the position? You know, why would I? Why? I would have no incentive. There wouldn't be an incentive to me, and it reminds me of the NBA, the NBA, the National Basketball Association, where we have the the center position. Back in, I remember when you were 6'10", 6'11", you played in the paint. And now there's almost no place for the dominant center like a Shaquille O'Neal, Wilt Chamberlain, those type of the game has lost those guys. So it's almost like, you know, you have to be able to go outside of the paint and defend the pick and roll. So I'm making that connection to the NFL and saying we have to go back and really, really reassess the running back position. We got to reassess it and say, okay, what are we doing here? You know, because I know they're saying, hey, we can get a good running back in the later rounds. Yeah, we can get a good running back in the later rounds. So if that being the case, what do we do? Why should we pay? Why are we negotiating at all to pay running backs? Because a good running back, a dime a dozen. They're a dime a dozen. So why am I paying? Or should I pay? Because we can get everything we want out of you and then just let you walk and you get nothing. So for those who are mad at Zeke, and because I know there are people saying, hey, you know what, Zeke's overpaid, he got his money, he's not doing anything, da 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 da. But you have to put yourself in the running back's shoes. I give it all I got. I give it all I got. I give you my best 2 or 3 years, and then I get nothing. You don't pay me. You basically say, okay, let him walk. Let him walk. He gets nothing. So that's where I'm coming down on that. I just think that, and I might be on that limb by myself. I might be on that limb by myself, but I just think that somewhere along the line, we have to look at the running back position. We have to look at that position and think about it. We have to maybe consider developing a different pay scale for the NFL running back. Because we have to think about the fact that the shelf life of an NFL running back is definitely, definitely not long. Think about that. The shelf life of the NFL running back is not that long. And should we pay more money? Should we agree to pay them a little bit more, or should we just keep the status quo? My concern is that high schoolers are going to say, you know what, I'm not going to play the position anymore. Or what happens because I'm not saying it's good or bad, but I look at Debo Samuels, for example. He's more of a hybrid type, and that may be where the league is going to. Give me the running back that can catch, the wide receiver type running back that can catch. If that being the case, then we can kind of do away with the position altogether. You remember how every team had a fullback? Now, fullback is almost like a pink elephant. You rarely see them anymore. It's like there are just no fullbacks whatsoever. None. So I'm just saying, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? So ponder on that. Ponder on that while we take a break. And remember, this is Sports Therapy with FH Jr. And if you're just tuning in and you like, okay, I am live streaming on Facebook. What the hell am I listening to? Who is this guy? This is Sports Therapy with FH Jr. And today's topic is NFL running backs. Should we pay them from a different pay scale? So we're going to take a little break. Hopefully we'll get some callers calling in. And we are back. Well, I'm going to continue to carry the show. And remember, the topic is, should we pay our NFL running back? Should we pay them more money or should we just let them walk? Should we pay or should we let them walk? As I was saying, I been watching football for a long time. If I really start talking about all the famous running backs I've seen in their heyday, i.e., O.J. Simpson, yeah, we can say O.J.'s name, O.J. Simpson, the Nigerian nightmare, Earl Campbell, Emmett. Oh man, I've seen them all, but the league has changed. You notice this year? Well, not just this year, but used to be you had one running back, and now everything is done with a tandem. You know, you got a primary running back, and then you have what's called the guys that come in and do like special type of third down backs and things of that nature. But and I remember initially guys used to not even want to give up any time. They didn't want to share any time with anybody else because they're afraid. Okay, I'm gonna lose my position. So by that, I don't want to share my time with anybody. But you know, all of a sudden, things kind of change a little bit. You know, due to the wear and tear. Um, Guys want to kind of reserve themselves. You know, even the Pro Bowl. I remember when we would kind of look forward to the Pro Bowl and like, okay, hey, so and so's in the Pro Bowl. Look at that, look at that. But now, nah, nobody wants to get hit. Nobody wants to do anything because of the wear and tear. It's about the career. I think Dion said it best. Dion Sanders said it best when he says it's a business decision. It's a business decision. Can we make business decisions? Yeah. And if you are a parent and your child says, "Hey, I want to I want to my child want to be a running back." And would you allow him to be on that would you allow him to play that position, or would you try to discourage him from that position? what would you do? Yeah, because I can see the position going away, and maybe I'm the first to sound the alarm, but I can see that position going away if we don't do something to say, okay, wait a minute, you know, we got to do something different. We have to go back and reevaluate the position. Should we pay them more money? Should we pay them more money? Now, if you are in the corner that says, if you're in the corner that says, well, those guys make too much money already, then, you know, you're definitely not going to be for, you're definitely not going to be for helping. I mean, for paying more money. So my contention is, do we pay those guys or do we just let them walk? If I'm a running back, I take that into consideration now. I do. I take that in consideration. Do I want to play that position? Do I want to play that position? And if you are, I'm trying to think of the young man that's backing up Zeke, yeah, and everybody want to see him play, but everyone want to see him play. But if I'm like, okay, um, he had a good couple years, so now is this the time where he negotiate and get his money? Yeah, everybody want to see him play. But what happens when? Because I think his contract is coming up. It's time to pay him. Or do we let him just walk? Or do we just let him walk? It's very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Should we pay the running back? Should we pay a different pay scale? Because see, if I'm a quarterback, the way the league is set up, a quarterback can get paid really. They really can get paid twice, maybe three times. Yeah, they have you on a they have you on the rookie contract for like 2 years, but then, man, before that contract expires, quarterbacks can negotiate to get paid. They can negotiate to get paid. I.e., Tyler Murray. Murray's already saying, "Hey, hey, 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 I don't give a fat rat's butt about about the team. You know what? I want my money, and I'm holding out, and I'm not gonna go to OTA until I get my money." And if he gets his money right now, I'm sure he'll probably sign from, I don't know, maybe 4 years. Think about it. He's a young guy. He's what, 24, 25. So okay, 4 or 5 years from now, say he signed for, what's it going, Patrick Mahomes. My homie got what, $200 million. So if we're looking at paying Patrick $200 million, I'm sure um my man can get somewhere along that salary. May not get 200, yeah, but he can get his money. And then after another, I don't know, after that contract, if Murray signs, he can negotiate and get paid again. So think about that. If you're a running back, you sitting on the sideline getting your head bashed in. You get your head bashed in and you think, what the hell? I'm in my rookie contract is coming to an end, and who do I talk to? Because I can see that train at the end of the tunnel that's saying, okay, hey, when this contract ends, we're gonna let you walk, and you're not gonna be in any position to negotiate from a position of strength. And that's why I'm not mad at Zeke when Zeke said, hell, I'm not gonna play unless y'all pay me. I'm cool with it. I think every running back deserved that. Maybe because that's the position I played in the high school. Now I was nowhere near what these guys are, but I understand you have to pay those guys. Wide receivers, they can get paid. Although there are some things that there are some changes coming about now where we're looking at this and saying, okay, we got the high school kids that are coming up and they're learning with the 7-on-7 drills. College kids are coming more in the league NFL ready, so we really don't have to pay them as much. But I still say you're comparing apples to oranges in terms of the two positions, you know, and that's why I'm trying hard to stay away from the CTE because, like I said, I'm not an expert in that field. That's not my expertise. But unless you've been living in a cave for the last 10 years, you see the effects of a long-term football career. And like I said, I'm not expert in that. I'm trying not to go down that trail. But there's a correlation between the contact that NFL players receive. And I know, to me, just from my own edification, just my own sitting on the sideline playing armchair quarterback, I just think that running back takes a lot of wear and tear. The middle linebacker, a lot of wear and tear. Defensive ends, a lot of wear and tear, because those are what I call seek and destroy position. Those are what I call seek and destroy position, where you're basically on every play. On every play, you're involved in some type of violent collision. It's just like with a running back. Either you're getting hit, you're having to block and take on, in some cases, defensive ends, linebackers, guys who may outweigh you, might. But at the end of your rookie contract, we're going to let you walk because we can find a good running back in anywhere in the late rounds. I can tell you, when I think about it, the Denver Broncos, they had a history of just finding running backs, And was it the running back or was it the system? Some people say, hey, you're not that great of a running back. It's the system. We can put F.A. Jr. in the backfield and hand him the ball, and he can still, be 1,000-yard back. And that's where we get into that why do we need to pay these guys? Because we can get a good running back anywhere. We don't have to pay you. Then I look at some of the guys and you say, wait a minute. It's not the system. It's the player. Or do the players make the system? Something to ponder on. Something to ponder on. Something to ponder on. I'm just saying. So let's we're gonna take another break here and just think about that. Should NFL running backs, should they be paid from a different pay scale, or should we just let them walk? If you're just tuning in and you're thinking, what the hell is this guy talking about? Who is this guy? And what is he talking about? This is Sports Therapy with F.H. Jr., where callers get up to 2 minutes to call in and rant, rip, or kick some knowledge about anything NFL related, especially with regards to your team. Um, if you want to call in, the number to call in is 940-329-4110. That's 940-329-4110. And you can call and speak your piece. So we're going to take a break and we'll be right back. And we're back from break. Once again, our topic is, should NFL running backs be paid off a different pay scale? Should they receive more money? Or should we just let them walk? Something to ponder on. Something to ponder on. Should we pay them or should we not? Should we bag up a couple Loomis trucks? If you don't know what a Loomis truck is, those one that's where all the money's kept. Should we bag up a couple of those and say, okay? But like I said, if I'm playing GM, general manager, and I'm not gonna make any change because this works for my benefit, you know. And one thing about the NFL, would we say it's a player-driven league or it's a business? I think, well, first of all, it's a business. The NFL is a business, and when you own a business, you have to think in terms of what's best for your business. What's the bottom line? You know, how can we produce this product and make a profit on the other end? So if we can continue to profit and be successful, why break the model if the model works? Why? Because there's no problem right now. You know, we got you know, as I look at especially at the high schools, when I go back, everybody want to be a running back. Everybody, you know, you got guys with no speed want to be in the backfield. Everybody want to run the ball. Nobody want to be nobody want to block. But it's just that as we get up there, as the position, you know, changes, and we must change with the times. I'm just afraid that the running back is gonna go by way of the dodo bird. We don't see any dodo birds around. We got some folks we call dodos, but we don't see any dodo birds because it's extinct. You know, so I'm just like, wow, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Do we pay him or do we let him walk? Do we pay them or do we let them walk? Do we pay our running backs? I'm just concerned because the motto is protect the shield. Protect the shield, baby. Protect the shield. And so I'm like, okay, we got to pay our backs. And I had this conversation with my daughter the other day, and we were just riding around talking, and and she's a Saint fan. Yeah, she's a big time who dat. And the conversation we had, I said, hey, in fact, we were talking about uh, Marion Barber the third and his career, and she actually pulled up the video, and I showed her that run that we were talking about. I said, "Hey, look at this guy." I said, "Man, in his prime, he was a unique player, but I just knew his running style. It did not give way to a long career." And that's just the NFL football player all together, especially the running back. But I just knew he had a bruising style. He didn't. I rarely saw him run out of bounds. Hell, I don't remember ever seeing him run out of bounds. But that was part of the conversation that we were having, and I said, "Hey, did you know that a lot of guys come into the league and they're on what's called a rookie contract? And in the first couple of years, even you can be a first round draft pick or whatever. In the first couple of years, they come into the league. Um, you don't have to pay them no more than the minimum or whatever the rookie negotiated salary is." I said, "You don't have to pay them you don't have to pay them that much money." Hold on, I got a caller trying to get in here. Okay, hopefully they can make that work. So as I was saying, um, you really don't have to pay. And that was the conversation that we had, and she didn't realize it. She's like, I said, yeah, I said that was the issue that people were having with Zeke. When Zeke was holding out, he was like, hey, you know what? I'm in a position where I can negotiate my career because, you know, he knew what was going to happen. Some veterans pulled him to the side, and you know what? Well, see, people don't realize if I'm a running back for the Washington Commanders, and you're a running back for the Dallas Cowboys, and this other guy's a running back for the Denver Broncos, and and we're not enemies of each other. Although we want to win, we play the same position. So at the end of the day, there's gonna be some conversations going on in terms of, hey, look, you need to get your money. Yeah, get your money. And so that's what he did. And of course, you got people mad at him from last year. Oh, wait a minute, well, him and he got not him. I'm sorry, Zeke got his money, and look at it, he's not even running hard. And like, seriously, like, nah. Yeah. Oh, he's got his money now, man. Look, we need to get rid of him. We need to let our Pollard play. Seriously? You have to get your money and think in terms of your career, because the shelf life of a NFL running back is very, very, very short. It is very short. And that's why I say, hey, get your money. And I'm wondering, am I the only one to have these thoughts? Because I'm not the keeper of the league at all. Now I am the keeper of my little space here, which is the command center. In fact, let everyone kind of see what the command center looks like. I'm gonna lean to the left or to the right. This is the command center. As you can see, I got the back of my wall. You can see my sign letting you know that my team is the Washington Commanders. I got gear up top. I got my football. Now there's a green box, and that's my sponsor, which is Crown Royal. Um, I got some jerseys hanging in the back, but I am coming to you from a small space. It's called my closet. And I can tell you there will never, 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 never be a guest studio host other than myself for sports therapy with FH Jr. Now, I'm not saying I will never have a guest, but there will never be a studio guest because there's not enough room in the closet for anyone else but myself. And plus, the landlord gives me a real good rate. So, with that, that's where we are with that. But I just know that unless we do something and take a real good look at the running back position, then I think we're gonna be in trouble. And I may be the first one sounding the alarm. And if I am, then hey, kudos to me. But I just know that, and I remember when the Cowboys had Murray, and he had a great year. I mean, the guy led the league, and they ran him to death. And then when it came time for him to negotiate a salary, they just let him walk. Let him walk. And he went to another team, didn't have the success that he had, and basically was pretty much out the league within 2 years. I don't know as far as the finance. I'm sure that because I think he's coaching now. I didn't really haven't kept up with DeMarco Murray, but I used to follow him because when I'm not loving my Commanders, I'm a big OU fan. So I followed his career all to when he was in college. So I used to love watching DeMarco Murray, but there's a part of me wanted him to be able to get the finance and to get paid when he was playing for the Cowboys. And that's why, and that was always a part of me that was like, wait a minute, come on, man. Pay that brother. Pay him his money. Pay him his money. But he just, I just know that if I am if I am in high school right now, I would not play the position. I wouldn't. And so you're gonna get I would probably move over and probably become a wide receiver or a tight end. I would be a tight end. I just don't see. I just because there's no payoff in the position because every kid have visions of playing in the NFL, and that's where I guess as a counselor, myself and others come in because we have to like kind of we don't crush anybody's hopes and dreams, but we try to funnel them into reality a little bit, and so but every kid they all, the conversation with every kid, they're playing any kind of organized sports in middle school, high school, is to get to the league, whether it's football or basketball, or soccer, or volleyball or golf or whatever. It's to be a professional, you know. And the key to that is, you do it to get paid. And that's why I have no problem with the college guys being able to get paid now. You know, I got no problem with that. I really don't have any problems with those guys getting their money. A lot of people had some problems with that, and so hey, let me see. Hold on. Welcome to Sports Therapy. Hello.
What's going on, man?
Hey, caller.
Can you hear
Thank you
me?
for calling in. Who am I speaking with?
Yeah, I was hearing. This is Malbrew, man.
Hey, Ricardo. This is one of my regulars. Ricardo, you are. I think you're going to be my expert in terms because let me ask you this question. This is a topic. If you're just tuning in, we gave some homage to former running back for the Dallas Cowboys, Marion Barber. I don't know if you're familiar with him. I'm pretty sure you are. He did pass away earlier this
Yeah.
week, and just wanted to
Mhm.
just send out some condolences to the family. And we talked a little bit about his career, but that segued into what we're talking about now, which is, and I don't know where you're gonna come down on this, but this is what I believe that the NFL should look at the the pay scale of the NFL running back and maybe consider negotiating from a different point of view or a different position as regular players because of the short life of the career. What do you think?
I think you're exactly right. You may not be into crushing dreams, but I sure am, and for that
oh,
reason,
oh hell!
um,
Hold on.
because
Let me hit the bell for myself. All right, let's crush some dreams.
well. Here's the numbers because I heard you talking about DeMarco Murray, and DeMarco Murray played 7 seasons in the NFL. In
Nope.
that short time span, he only made $25.7 million.
That's not a lot of money.
Most of that goes to taxes. A lot of that goes to taxes, right? So really, he pocketed anywhere between 13 and 14 million dollars, $2 million per year for his entire career. That's no money, especially for a prolific back like he was for
Yes.
that short stint period of time. At least for at least 5 years with the Cowboys, right? And so when he came to, I remember this when he came to negotiate his contract. I remember Skip Bayless saying, "Well, should we just cut him loose?" Right? Even Skip Bayless had an opinion about this. He's not what he used to be. He's a little slower. All the excuses. And then the next thing you know, the Dallas Cowboys traded him to the Philadelphia Eagles, where he was very, very much fruitless. And then the Philadelphia Eagles traded him to the Tennessee Titans, which he was very fruitless. But he would make the crazy thing is that he would make the majority of his money with the Tennessee Titans. Out of that $25 million, he made $13 million with the Tennessee Titans.
Ricardo, I want you to repeat that real quick.
So
Repeat what you just said for the listening for the
okay,
listening audience. For those who just fell off the
I'm
couch.
saying he made $25 million in 7 seasons. The majority of that money in which he made was his last 2 seasons in Tennessee. But he did his most damage with the Cowboys, who
Yes.
didn't want to pay him. And on the advice of Skip Bayless, who said, "Well, maybe he's losing a little something," right? Because Skip Bayless has covered the Cowboys for years. Skip Bayless knows Jerry Jones. He understands Jerry Jones. He he is one with Jerry Jones. And so when he says things like that on uh, Skip and Shannon, right?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that Jerry's wheels aren't turning,
Right.
right? So Jerry trades him to Philadelphia, where he becomes fruitless, and then Philadelphia trades him to Tennessee, right? And the crazy thing about Tennessee is that they're so desperate for a decent running back that they definitely overpaid him for his time there.
Short time
But
there.
we can't really necessarily say for his short stint there with Tennessee, they overpay him because they're in need of a pretty good running back, right? It's a necessity thing, right? He's a free agent, right? Normally in free agency, teams seem to overpay for certain athletes, right? For certain things in which they need. If I need a running back, I'm probably going to overpay for that running back, especially if he's a household name, if he's an All Pro, if he's a Pro Bowler, in that order, right? So normally I'm going to overpay for that position, right? And DeMarco Murray was only a shell of himself when he got to Tennessee. He wasn't the DeMarco Murray that he was with the Cowboys, right? That bruising back, that back that was hard to get to the ground,
Right.
right? but Dallas didn't want to pay for him because why? They had other backs. They had other backs that they had their eye on, right? They had their eye on Zeke, right? So this stigma about running backs. I remember when I was a kid, the running back was the highest paid
Yes.
position.
Everybody want to be the running
Okay,
back. Coach had to like, nah, nah,
that was one of
you.
the lowest paid positions. And the reason why the running back could be the highest paid position when I was a kid in the 1980s is because teams didn't really throw the ball. Not like that. I mean, unless you were Joe Montana, right?
Yes.
you know, you really didn't throw the ball, right? You had bruising backs, right? You had the Campbells, right? You had the Ironhead Haywoods. You had the right. You had these bruising backs
Where they would go on these long drives and just eat the entire
yes,
quarter up.
16 play drives,
Yeah.
18 play drives, right? That type of stuff.
So
So,
so so
you know, I,
Ricardo,
I feel,
so Ricardo, what do we do? Because am I the only one noticing that the house is on fire? What do we do?
no, everybody knows.
Because I know from talking to you in the past, I know you're a coach. So what do you say to the high school kid
It's,
who, is the position going away? Because remember, um,
no,
it,
the
it
position's not going away. The position will never go away. The problem is that the game evolves,
okay,
right?
okay, I
Now,
got you.
the position may be the position may be 2-1, where the quarterback is the running back, similar to what a Taysom Hill is,
Or
right?
or, or,
Where you
or,
don't know who
or
your
or the
quarterback
running
is
back
until
is the
the last
wide
play.
receiver, similar to Debo
You know,
Samuel.
yeah. I mean, the game is evolving, right? Debo, we know Debo's a wide receiver, but Debo could also take the ball on a reverse. He can take
Mm-hmm.
it on a sweep. He can take it on a dive. He can take it as a wildcat. He's got many different skill sets. He's a wide receiver who has the skill set of a running back.
But
Now,
let me ask you this.
the first one to do it was the first one to do it was number 88 for the Green Bay Packers. He used to play for the New Orleans Saints, and I forget his name, but he was one of the first ones to convert wide receiver or make that blurred line between wide receiver and running back.
Well, see
He was very
that's
successful
why I
at that.
wanted to ask you. So now,
And that was
is
with
is
Green Bay.
is that the player that we're looking for when we go to college?
Yes,
Is that when NFL draft? Is
yes,
that because the Commanders have a guy the same way? He was a wide receiver in college at Memphis, and now he's a running back.
yes,
And you see what I'm saying?
yes. I mean, you have to be a wide receiver that has running back tendencies. That's where the game is going to, right? Because I rather pay you, and I call this the Jimmy Graham effect. Remember Jimmy Graham?
Yes, sir.
Jimmy Graham was a tight end who was used as a wide receiver. When New Orleans, and this would piss me off about Sean Payton. I love me some Sean Payton, but it pissed me off about Sean Payton because you used the man as a wide receiver, even though technically he was a tight end, even though his position of pay was tight end. And when Jimmy Graham came up for his contract extension, right, the New Orleans Saints said, "Well, yeah, we'll pay you $10 million a year," but in the very next breath, they traded him.
And that's the gist of today's show it is going back to the pay scale. How do we pay the NFL running back? Whether it's a running back slash tight end, running back slash quarterback, do we pay those guys their money up front with incentives and God knows what up front and benchmarks and all those things? Whereas
They
when
do
you,
that now.
huh?
They do that now, right? In other words, let me put this in perspective for people. They do that now. The running backs, if you're a kid who wants to play the position of running back, right? And really, it's not that running back is not that attractive anymore because it's not the highest paid position. It's not the glorified position.
Right,
In fact, you're probably the tip of the spear, right? You're gonna take all the licks, right? So
right.
kids don't really grow up wanting to be a running back as much as when we were kids. Okay, so as a person who plays running back, first thing you have to take into account is my career may be anywhere between 2.5 to 3.5 years long. You have to take that into consideration. because you're going to take all the licks, and you're not just going to take it in the pros. You're going to take it in college, and you're going to take it in high school.
But how do I get my money,
Which
Ricardo?
means you get what the market dictates.
And see, the market isn't dictating. Let me hit my bell.
And that's what it is. You get what the market dictates.
And that's my
When
and the market isn't dictating Jack for the running back, because it's like, hey, we can get a good running back in fifth round, late round.
That's not true. That's not true. Zeke right now is getting paid $12.4 million.
Yeah, but hey, but look, he had to hold out to get his money, and Zeke. But at the end of the day, they wasn't going to give him anything. Let's talk about, well, let Zeke walk.
Well, they weren't going to let Zeke walk. Let me tell you why they weren't going to let Zeke walk. Because Jerry Jones loves him some Zeke.
Jerry Jones does, but what about every other owner?
Jerry Jones loves you. Here's my point. If Jerry Jones loves you, and I'm not a Cowboys fan.
Oh, I'm not either, but I'm impartial.
I live in Dallas, so I have to keep up with the. My dad loved the Dallas Cowboys. My brother loved the Dallas Cowboys. So
I got you.
Follow what they do. So Zeke signed a 6-year, $90 million extension in September of 2019. His base salary this past season was $12.4 million. Right? If Jerry Jones loves you, this is a fact. No one can dispute this fact. If Jerry Jones loves you, he will pay you.
True.
It's when he stops loving you that he will either cut you or trade you.
True. I agree.
But if Jerry Jones loves you, he will pay you.
But see, but here's the thing, though.
If they can't get their money, they can. It
But
just kind of depends on certain mitigating factors.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but Ricardo, we're talking about one particular team owner who loves his toys. Jerry loves his toys, but huh?
Yes, he does.
But we got to look at every, and like you said, the market dictates the running back salary. And because there's this mindset now that, hey, we don't have to pay a running back. We can get you in your rookie year, that rookie contract, run you to death, get all these good things out of you, and then just let you walk.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
The market dictates your second, your third contract. The league dictates your first contract. So, because you have these rookies, and let's get back to the rookies, and no matter what position, even if it's running back, the league dictates what money you get as a draft pick based on what round you in, what pick you are. There's a set pay scale for that. So, as a rookie, if you're not a first-round draft choice, you probably can't get your money up front. Now, you're going to get some money, right? But you're going to get what the league dictates that you get.
Yeah, but as a quarterback on that rookie salary, before that salary ends, they're already reaching out to negotiate with you and how much cash we're going to give you before you can stick around.
That's tied to performance. Let's take Dak Prescott for example.
Mm-hmm.
Dak Prescott got. If you ask me, Jerry Jones screwed Dak Prescott.
Well, he did
because he didn't know it, right? He's a 4th-round draft choice. He was probably one of the. In fact, Dak should have been a 2nd-round draft choice, or at minimum a late first, because he had led Mississippi State to the #1 ranking. Mississippi State had never had the #1 ranking.
But they were running team though.
20.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying to you, not when Dak Prescott was there. Remember now, Mississippi State not only beat Mississippi or Ole Miss, they also beat LSU.
Okay.
They got the #1 ranking. Dak Prescott was known as probably the best college quarterback in that year. And yet, he was a 4th-round draft choice.
Okay.
And how much did Jerry pay him?
He didn't want to pay him anything until he had to threaten to. What's he getting, like, 40? Is he getting like 40 a year?
Well, no, not in his rookie contract.
No. I'm talking about right now.
Dak made, and this is sad, Dak made he had a 4-year deal. It was about $2 million.
Wow. Well, hey, Ricardo, we're approaching that time, and I want to carry this on. I'm going to talk to you offline, but we're going to carry this on, and we're going to shut it down for the day because we have reached our power hour. And This has been Sports Therapy with Alpha Jr. To our callers and our listeners out there, thank you all for calling. And remember, if you like the show, hit me up. If you hate the show, hit me up too. And this is Sports Therapy, and we're getting ready to sign off. And remember, to all the golden lions, stay golden.